Welcome to the Travel App Backend Masterclass. Alright everyone, welcome to this guide. We're going to build something cool today. This guide comes to you from Maldon Technologies Private Limited. They are experts in creating amazing software. Maldon Technologies focuses on innovative solutions. They want to help you learn and grow. So, we're here to share some knowledge. Let's get started on this exciting journey together. It's going to be a practical, hands-on experience. We believe in learning by doing. So, what's this masterclass all about? We are diving into back-end development, specifically for a travel application. Think about apps you use to book trips, or to find cool travel packages. We'll build the engine behind such an app. This engine is called the back-end. It handles all the data and logic. It's the part users don't see directly, but it's super important for any app. We will use some popular and powerful tools. Node.js will be our main runtime environment. It lets us use JavaScript on the server. Express.js will help us build the API. It's a framework for Node.js, very common. MongoDB will be our database. It's a NoSQL database, flexible and scalable. These tools are great for modern web apps. They work well together for projects like this. You'll see how they simplify development. Our main goal here is to make this easy. We want to break down a complex process. Building a backend can seem scary, but we will go step by step. This guide is for everyone. Whether you are new to code or have some experience, we want you to feel confident, and hopefully, you'll be inspired to build more. Let's make this journey fun and engaging. Are you ready? Let's do this. First things first, let's get our tools ready. You need Node.js and NPM, the Node Package Manager. NPM comes bundled with Node.js. So, you install Node.js, you get NPM too. To check if you have them, open your terminal. Type and. If you see version numbers, you are good. If not, you need to install Node.js. Go to the official Node.js website to download it. It's a straightforward installation process. Once Node.js is installed, we create our project. Make a new folder for your travel app. Let's call it. Open your terminal or command prompt. Navigate into this new folder. Now, type. This command creates a file. The flag just accepts all defaults. This file keeps track of your project details. It also lists all project dependencies. Next, we need to install some essential packages. These are like plugins for our project. We need Express.js for our server. We need Mongoose to talk to MongoDB. We'll use to manage environment variables. Is for hashing passwords securely. And for creating access tokens. Open your terminal in the project folder. Run this command. This will download and add them to your project. Don't worry too much about what each does right now. We will explain them as we use them. Just know these are standard tools. They make building backends much easier. Your file will now list these under a section called. This means your project is now aware of them. You have your basic toolkit ready. Next, we will start building the actual server. This is where the fun begins, folks. Alright, let's get our server up and running. Create a new file in your project root. Call it or I like. This will be our main application file. Open this file in your code editor. First, we need to bring in Express. So, at the top, right, then initialize Express. This object is our Express application. We will use it to define routes and more. It's the core of our backend. Now let's connect to our MongoDB database. You'll need a MongoDB database instance. You can use MongoDB Atlas for a free cloud database, or you can install MongoDB locally on your machine. Once you have it, you get a connection string. This string tells your app where the database is. We'll use Mongoose to connect. Add this to. Then, we'll use with your connection string. This is a critical step for data storage. It's best practice to keep sensitive info out of code. Your MongoDB connection string is sensitive. So is your JWT secret we'll use later. We use a file for this. Create a file named in your project root. Inside you can define variables like and, install, then in, add at the very top. Now you can access these using. Remember to add to your file. Finally, let's make our server listen for requests. At the bottom of add app listen port, =, console log, server running on port $port, app listen port, =, console log, server running on port $port, and server running on port $port, app.get, rec res =, res.send API is running, app.get, rec res =, res.send API is running, app.get, rec res =, res.send API is running. Nodeserver.js, 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 open your browser to. You should see API is running. Our server foundation is now laid. Section 4. Defining our data crafting mongoose models. Now that our server is set up, let's talk data. What kind of information will our travel app handle? We need to define the structure of this data. In MongoDB, data is stored in collections. Mongoose helps us by using something called models. A model is like a blueprint for our data. It defines the fields and types for each piece of data. For example, a user will have a name, email, etc. Let's create a folder named. Inside this, we'll make files for each model. First, let's create a user model. Create a file inside the folder. Users will need to register and log in. So we typically need fields like string, unique, string. We'll also add a timestamp. Mongoose schemas define this structure, like this. Passwords should always be hashed before saving. We'll handle that logic in our routes later. This model tells Mongoose how user documents look. Next up, we need a package model for travel packages. Create in the folder. What does a travel package include? Things like a string for the package, a string detailing the package, the number of the package, perhaps string like 7 days, and string. We could also add array of strings for URLs. Again, we use to define this. This model will help us manage all travel offers. Lastly, we need a booking model. Create in the folder. This model links users to the packages they book. It will need a reference to the user who booked. So, a field. It also needs a reference to the package booked, a field. We'll also want date, and maybe a string like pending, confirmed, canceled. These models are the backbone of our application's data. They define structure and relationships. Section 5. Creating the pathways, API routes, and logic. With our models defined, we need ways to interact with them. This is where API routes come in. Routes are like specific web addresses for actions. For example, to create a new user. Express has a great way to organize these using its router. We'll create a folder in our project. Inside we'll have files for different route groups, like this keeps our file clean and organized. It's good practice for larger applications. Let's start with user authentication routes. In we'll define two main routes, a route 2. This route will take user data, name, email, password. It will check if the email already exists, then it will hash the password using. Finally, it saves the new user to the database, and a route 2. This takes email and password. It finds the user by email, compares the hashed password. If successful, it generates a JSON web token, JWT. Next, routes for managing travel packages. In, we'll have a few key routes. A route 2 to fetch all packages. This will query the database using our package model. It will return a list of all available travel deals. Another route 2 to get a single package. The part means it's a dynamic parameter. It will find a package by its unique ID. We could also add routes for creating or updating packages. These might be admin-only routes for security. Then, we need routes for the booking system. In, users will create and view bookings. A route 2 to create a new booking. This route would require the user to be logged in. We can protect routes using JWT middleware. The route would take the E and create a booking, linking it to the logged-in user. A route to see users' bookings. This would fetch all bookings associated with the logged-in user. These routes bring our application's features to life. Section 6. Handling payments and wrapping up your backend. Now for a crucial part, handling payments. For our travel app, we'll integrate Razorpay. Razorpay is a popular payment gateway, especially in India. It provides good developer tools and documentation. Integrating payments can seem complex, but we'll break it down into manageable steps. The goal is to allow users to pay for bookings securely. This involves interacting with the Razorpay API. We need to create an order on Razorpay. Then, the client side handles the actual payment UI. First, you need a Razorpay account. Sign up on the Razorpay website. Once registered, you can get your API keys. You'll get A and A. These are very important and must be kept secure. Store them in your file. Next, install the Razorpay Node.js SDK. In your terminal, run. This package will help us talk to Razorpay servers. We'll create a payment route, maybe in, let's say. When a user decides to pay for a booking, our backend will receive the amount and currency. Inside this route, we initialize Razorpay with our keys. Then, we use. Options include amount, currency, like INR, and a receipt ID. Razorpay creates an order and returns it. Our backend sends this back to the client app. The client app then uses this to open the Razorpay payment pop-up. And that's a high-level look at building a travel app backend. We've covered setting up the project and server, we defined data models for users, packages, and bookings, we outlined API routes for core functionalities, and touched upon integrating payments with RazorPay. This is a solid foundation for a real-world application. There's always more to learn and add, of course. Features like reviews, admin dashboards, or advanced search, but hopefully this guide gets you started. Go ahead, try building it. Happy coding.